Ghost Stories is a new British horror film that I've been dying to see. I've heard a lot of things about this since it premiered at a lot of festivals, and I was pretty excited to see if this film lives up to the hype that I've heard from critics and audience members at those festivals. This film is about a guy who's a super duper skeptic. He has a TV show called Psychic Cheats where he debunks people who say they can contact the supernatural, and he tries to prove that it's all a gigantic hoax. He's been skeptical about the supernatural for most of his life, and he has found that by doing so, it has allowed him to have a firmer grasp on his own reality. But when he comes across 3 case files that detail some paranormal experiences, he finds them inexplicable, and thus he becomes haunted by these hauntings and the fact that he can't explain them. This film was awesome. I really loved this movie. I thought that it was one of the creepiest horror films I've seen in a very long time, and it's because it understands what all good horror films do. Scary things, it's not just about blood. It's not about gore. It's not about violence, and it's certainly not about a ghost that might be in the corner or something. Like, those things are fun. And this movie is very entertaining in that respect. It has a lot of good tongue-in-cheek elements to it. But this film understands that the real horror is about the pain and the regret of things that have perhaps happened in your family or in your past, things that could really happen to you that perhaps you've never come to terms with. And it explores all of those things in very awesome fashion. And through our lead character, we learn that his past involving his father was rocky at best. He had a difficult upbringing. We see some childhood video of a bar mitzvah and various gatherings where the family just did not get along. But as this skeptic that he's now become, we see him visit the main subjects of these case files and interview them. And they're very disturbed about the things they've seen. And as they begin to describe these past events, we witness their stories play out almost like it's an anthology film. We have 3 separate short films, kind of, that are in this feature that are extremely unsettling. Each one of them building upon the last. Each one of them having a very satisfying through line that you can witness if you pay attention to the things that are on the screen. Little things in the corners, the colors, certain numbers, things that connect them. Really great stuff. I thought this was a very, very clever horror film, and I really enjoyed it until the last few minutes. But I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the way the film decided to conclude. It's just something that I've seen before, and it disappointed me that it went in a direction that I was used to, because so much of the rest of the film was so different and very unique. This is directed by 2 people. One of them is the main star. According to the IMDb page of Jeremy Dyson, one of the directors, he went to Leeds University and got a degree in philosophy. And that's very clear in this film because it really ponders the human mind. The tagline is "The brain sees what it wants to see." And this film is definitely interested in perusing those dark corners of our mind, whether or not we can come to terms with things that we see or that we feel like we've experienced, or if we'd rather just block that out and pretend like it didn't even happen. So in those 3 segments where we witness those case files come to life, there's a lot of great horror movie imagery and things that go bump in the night that are going to startle you or give you the goosebumps. There's one image in particular that actually gave me chills from head to toe, and purely because of how great and wonderful it was executed. But it's not just a horror film in that aspect. It really does try to dive into the human psyche, which is probably my favorite aspect of this movie. But as I said, the last few minutes, I don't want to say it's a betrayal. It kind of felt like less of a, oh my God, and more of a, oh yeah, that makes sense, I guess, yeah. But I do want to see the film again because I feel like the second viewing will be much richer. And the fact that so much of the film, despite some of the more familiar tropes it explores, was executed in such a compelling and unique way, I really recommend you see Ghost Stories, especially if you're a horror fan. I'm going to give it an A-. If you guys get a chance to see this, I would recommend checking it out. Please do stay tuned for more reviews very soon. I'm going to have my pre-1970s review coming to you very soon, and that is Psycho. I can't wait to talk about that film. It's warmer outside, and whenever it gets warmer outside, I get excited about spring and summer movies, which for me can sometimes be scary movies, and I can't wait to talk about Psycho with you. It's a classic, and I've seen it many times, but I have a lot to say. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.